They have a moment in the trailer. I'm gonna have so many windows open. Oh my god. Where, let's see.
The code.
So like when they're introducing the like moment when she's like protecting us, that's the Fate stuff. I'm so excited for Fate. It looks better. I hope it looks better. Like this moment right here. Like right here.
Don't be afraid.
Notice notice one thing is that she is dressed in her like star, like her her normal navigator outfit and not her like Star Blazer outfit. Her not her Nova outfit. And so what I think is gonna happen is that she is gonna take the hit. And I think she is going to like temporarily die. But I think what's gonna happen is that they are going to revive her via our Stellaron. Because going by the logic of her being a Imaginate, it's also not even confirmed that a Stellaron can't bring back people to life. There's a possibility that's I feel like gonna happen, or that might be a possibility. It might be a bit weird, but it's but you know, she is still technically Imaginate, and the reason why I'm pretty set on that concept is one, she's not dressed up in this baller outfit, which by the way, I like this shot, but it's so funny. We got new Dan Heng, Evernight, Himeko. Sunday still looks dope by himself. I feel like we're missing out. I feel like we need to get some armor or some shit. Look at that. You know? Like at least give us something. Especially my boy Welt. But the thing is, I have a theory I wrote out, and I'm like debating even if to put it out because it feels a little weird. But I also feel like it's a little bit on that moment of like, so they show us this in the beginning of the trailer. So the Tower of Infinity is the Express, right? So there's a question in my head, which is that, is this the original Astral Express that fell? And if this is a location we're going to, does that mean that the Astral Express never left? And so there's this weird moment where like, okay, there's like kind of an implication. Maybe this is like a, like, you know, going, it's like playing through maybe Himeko's past, or like it's a backstory scene or something like that, right? But yeah, it might be based on her memories. But there's also an interesting possibility that the train never left, and that maybe Aha, through her winning the Phantasmoon games or through a Stellaron or something, granted her wish, but it wasn't to remake the Astral Express. To fix the Astral Express, they just remade it. And so this kind of bleeds into the idea of Pom Pom being an Imaginate. I know that's been a theory for a while now. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I feel like there's a possibility of that, even though they say this all in past tense. But stayed in Planet Arcadia line. Yeah. I think that there's a high chance that that we're gonna actually see the original Astral Express. And I do think that I just posted out the video today where we got Rocky here. I'm so sorry if you're anyone who hasn't seen Project Hail Mary, because I'm from now on just gonna call him Rocky. He is just Rocky from now on. Until they give us a name, he is just Rocky. And even then, I might still just call him Rocky.
On the Express.
Because I feel like that would just make sense, where Aha remade the Express. Because even this Express, if you look at it, it looks, at least maybe in design, looks more like industrial than ours. Ours is a lot more like, for me, he's Mothman from Shin Megami Tensei series. I actually never played the original Shin Megami Tensei like video games. I've only played the Persona ones. Is it worth playing? I always hear it's like a rough one. But I feel like maybe I'm mistaken, but I feel like this Express is a little bit more industrial looking than the one that we made. And it kind of does make sense for the Express we're on, with Pom Pom being stuck on there, that it's kind of like an Imagine in itself. Aha recreated the Astral Express, the Stellaron. I feel like it would be Aha. Yeah. And so maybe that the Express just never left. Aha just made a new one through the wish. I don't know. Like I said, honestly, it's a far-flung theory. I'm not gonna say 100%. It's not my like. It's honestly not the theory I am most confident in. Either. I'm just gonna put this out here too. But yeah, no, it does look more steampunky. It does feel a little bit. I don't know. This is like a big question. There is like the red and gold indices that might kind of lead to pom pom, but it is a little bit of an interesting thought. I do like. I forgot if who it was. Was it Vampy? Was it you that said it was like a that it could have been one of the conductors? Like there's multiple conductors and for all the different Astral Express. If you do play, I recommend the recent one. Okay. Rocky Pom Pom's cute. I do like him. He kind of bounces. If he does a little bounce when he has his entrance scene. Look at him. Look at him. He's like happy. Dude, I love the I do like this guy. I do wonder if we're gonna see it. In a more realistic. Oh, sorry. Maybe I got the wrong person. But what I think actually might be this guy, Rocky, is I think they might be a like an Imagine created by Asat Pramad or Icy. I feel like that's maybe a little bit more towards realism because they did. I feel like if they were a conductor, I do feel like they would have said instead of passenger they would have said conductor, right? And I feel like there is a possibility that there's a very unique situation of Icy Asat Pramad being an expert of Imagenesis, being a legendary master of Elation, essentially, having turned to the Trailblaze, found a way to create a basic Imagine that was able to run on the power of the Trailblaze as opposed to wish power. Rocky is the real Asat Pramad. That would be crazy if Rocky was actually just his dice. Because this is another thing is that I do think two passengers, right? One conductor. That is a weird thing. Is that right here they say
Falcon to illuminate the stars once more. As they pass the trailblazing spark
Okay,
to
actually
Falcon,
Falcon.
to illuminate the stars once more.
So it's not said that they both left, but that like kind of an implication is that, which I mean, you know, Star Rail always like kind of fucks around with implications all the time. And if you look at the Asat Pramad trailer, here, let me. Probably one of my favorite trailers, by the way. I love his mask. Dude, we need more masked fools. I want to see these super dope custom masks. Give me more masked fools. Give me masked fool sample, please. Please. Or make him, I don't know, morning actor or someone. Where was the My Hero? I've read all My Hero Academia. Where was the My Hero Academia one? Oh, is it like the when Himeko came out? Was that like the All Might scene? I read all of My Hero, so. But yeah, when Icy leaves, he takes the dice. So maybe it is his dice, but like it's only Icy leaving. You see, so I mean, theoretically, it could be the conductor and just, and the implication was them and Falcon. Just entities at these on the entire planet Arcadia. Very important. Okay, let me correct this. I'm not saying in the story. I'm saying I want a playable mask full with a mask full design. Let me. You're right. Yes, the mask fulls have been very important. I just meant it purely for the playable side of things. I will agree. I am very much a manga person. I will say that very recently, anime has been like killing it, especially since that. I recently watched through Witch Hat Atelier. My God, that is some of the best voice acting I have seen. I looked up the cast; they're all American, and it's a whole entire. That's their whole cast is, I think, mostly American, and their whole entire show is in a British accent. It's crazy. I don't know how. Joshua Waters absolutely insane as Queefrey. But anyways, yeah. So he comes out. Also, kind of crazy. It makes me also wonder about Falcon, because he came out of this. He came out of all of the death games of the of IC's death games. And it's kind of a weird thing where you got to wonder, did Falcon agree with this? Was like, you know, I wonder how Falcon feels about it. Because it is a bit weird, right? Like, you would imagine Falcon would have been, like, mortified by Icy unless he is very much, like, it needed to be, like, clean slated. Do you think Himeko is dying, or I'm guessing is fading as Imagine? I think Himeko will die, or her current Imagine form will die, and another version of her will be created via the MC Stellaron. That's just my personal like theory. I just feel like that would make sense. But yeah, no. I'm also very very curious. I'm very happy that we're getting like a lot more depth on like the navigators of the Astro Express. I just want the capybara. I want more on the capybara navigator. Well, do you? When were they like active? Bara. Capybaba. If you guys don't know, this is my favorite little fun fact about this is my favorite fun fact about Star Rail, is that at one point there was a wise capybara that was the navigator of the Astro Express. My favorite fun fact. This guy was a navigator, and mind you, one of the most successful navigators, having charted the map of the stars, a capybara. God, I love that fact. That is one of my favorite fun facts. My favorite. If you remember, like Himeko's like trailer where they show like the map of the stars, this is the dude. This is the one that did it. I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl, but they are the one that did it. I love it. And see, that's such a dope name too. Long Night Walker, Capybaba. If I ever get to voice a character in Star Rail, please let me voice Capybaba, please. That is my one wish. That or a Galaxy Ranger, so we can have more of them in the game. Actually, this is another one of my predictions I want to put in. Is we will ask, or it's like IC will be brought up to Pom Pom in some way. Pom Pom. Not saying Pom Pom will remember them or talk about them. It does seem like Pom Pom has like a weird memory, because Pom Pom will bring up something. It's like, oh yeah, I remember that, and it just like, it's like, well, and it like comes back to them like slowly. Because like when they were talking about Ryusuke, and Pom Pom was like, oh yeah, I know Ryusuke. And I was like, well, wait, hold on, how do you know Ryusuke? Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone caught that. In 4.3, Pom Pom said, oh yeah, I remember Mr. Ryusuke. But when did he ever meet Ryusuke? Isn't that a little weird? But they remember Granholm, Aha, Mikhail. You're exactly right, Justme. Like, they remember, like, all of them. But they don't remember Ryusuke. Or he remembers Ryusuke, But Ryusuke should have never been on the Express unless he's remembering Icy. And so, like, there might be something about Pom Pom that's able to see through the truth a little bit, I guess. Because, I mean, Pom Pom might remember them as Icy, not Asat Pramad. Pom Pom might not even know who Asat Pramad is, to be fair. So I think that might be an interesting fact. I want to know more about how, because we're covering so much of the Trailblaze, I would love on the final scene where we're talking with like a character of sometimes in like a major story point. I want that question scene to be with Pom Pom. Yeah, exactly. That long time no see conductor. Exactly. When would they have gotten to see him? The implication was Ryusuke wasn't there at all when Himeko left. I remember doing Pom Pom Quest. Dude, I did one recently and I was like, oh, I really should help Pom Pom with the Express. Yeah, I mean, I remember thinking that was a bit weird. So maybe that was a hit to IC being Asat Pramad and Ryusuke being that, but I do want I'm not sure if this will happen, but I really want us to bring up a scene to Pom Pom about Icy. Maybe not this patch, because also, I guess another one prediction. Asat Pramad will not be defeated. Be defeated in this patch. In 4.4. I'm not sure if we will lose. It's more of your definition of losing. But I'm very sure they're not going to be defeated. What I think might happen is one of two things. Is that Himeko pulls a Graphia and then like stops Asat Pramad temporarily. And then they go to Astropolis, figure something out with the Anti-Destruction Alliance, come back to Plan Arcadia. Or they just straight up lose. That's one of the two like situations where I feel like it. A stalemate, I think it's gonna, I'm more inclined to believe it's a stalemate. Then I think Asat Pramad winning completely. Because I feel like... Because, I mean, theoretically from the game perspective, right? That they want to make... It would imply that the Plan Arcadia has been destroyed to a certain extent. So unless there's a way to remake it a little bit, which I guess there technically is. Maybe Aha can do some magical shit, or Nihilix will come back as the probably emanator of Elation she is, and fix stuff. But I don't think, but I feel like it's more of a stalemate. Something about Himeko will keep Asat Pramad in check. Maybe they'll somehow throw him into the Veracity, and then he has to get out, but it's a temporary fix because it's Ouroboros' body and not his actual self. So that's kind of like the two ways I'm thinking about it. Yeah, Himeko buys him time, escapes herself. My thing is, because of the Veracity, I'm thinking that maybe they just throw him in there, and then he has to get out, and then we got 3 patches to figure it out. Exactly, he managed to get out, but it didn't say how long. It did seem like he did get out. It did seem like it took a little bit. Yeah, exactly. That's why it's a temporary fix, and they got to go on their beach holiday to take a breather and then figure things out. I think the funniest shit ever is that somehow, sorry, Cappy Baba, I gotta change. Where's the search bar on this thing? Oh yeah, here. Robin. Somehow we're gonna have to go with go figure out. Oh, this is the wrong Robin. Whatever. We're gonna have to go from the devastation of fighting a Lord Ravager to sunshine and rainbows, which is such an interesting. This is gonna be such an interesting dichotomy. We just come in, we're like, what the hell's going on? Yeah, Robin in her detective era. I'm pretty excited. I think honestly, I'm not sure how a lot of people feel about this. I am actually thinking it's a good thing that they give us a bit of a filler arc, even though it's not really filler, probably. Like, it just kind of breaks up, especially after a major, it breaks up a little bit of, like, the doom and gloom and the craziness of it all. And it gives a justifiable reason, I guess, in a certain sense. Will be sunshine and rainbows. What makes you think? Because Robin is singing a concert and Aventurine is surfing. That's what makes me think it, okay? It's solo Robin and Aventurine POV. That would be kind of funny. I am very interested in Astropolis, to be honest. Am I spelling that wrong? How do you spell Astropolis? Astropolis. That Aventurine's position also isn't... Honkai, it's never a vacation. Yeah, it's never really a vacation, is it? I will say though, this does look pretty sick. I feel like if I were to, I feel like if I were to take a vacation, this would be kind of like a good. Are they upside down? Oh yeah, wait, no. Here's a Jaden Topaz. I don't know who that is. I can't really tell. So the Aventurine here. Normal Aventurine. It is really nice. It does give like Hawaii vibes, which is kind of sick. Yeah, I'm interested in seeing what's up here. Where is it? I was just looking at it. By the way, this moment here in the thing freaked me the hell out. When they got the smiley faces on there. P46 Venturine. P46 Venturine basically means he got promoted to just be shirtless. That's what it is. Yeah, I think he deserved the promotion too. All right, what's your guys' predictions? Just me, I know you added quite a few stuff. I didn't get a chance to look at it on the thing, but what's people's major predictions here? What is it? What is it? Yes. I'm not gonna say anything with the fake collab. I'm very excited for the fake collab though. I'm very, very, very excited. Like Albert Asa is kind of what do you mean kind of? Stephen Lloyd. I don't think Stephen Lloyd's gonna show up until Astropolis. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think it is. Isn't Robin at Astropolis to investigate IPC because she doesn't trust them? Yes, she is. She is. That, you know, honestly, it's a pretty good cover. Just her coming in and being like, I'm gonna do a concert. You know, it's pretty good. Pretty good thing. Silver Wolf 999 4.4. That's actually a pretty good one. Jade Bikini over IPC. Because they had to do one male, one female, okay? You know what? Yeah, you're right. A Galaxy Rangers will show up. We might as well. I will be so sad. I will be so incredibly sad. Because we know they're in Plan Arcadia. Nihilix. Ooh. I feel like, okay, the thing about Nihilix hints is that there will always be hints. I just feel like it's hard to determine what is like a big hint to who Nihilix is. Oh, actually, you know what might be a good reasoning for a stalemate? Nihilix comes out and is the one who stalls him. It's actually Nihilix. That would be an interesting moment. If Nihilix was the one who came out, kind of like shit is going down, and Nihilix shows up and like reveals a little bit of who she is and stalls Asat Pramad, and she's like, gets Astropolis, figure something out, get reinforcements. Ooh, that would be an interesting one. I mean, like, because come on, Nihilix is special. We know Nihilix is special. She's voiced by just Connor. Ooh, that it would be so cool. It would be so cool. I that would, yeah, I feel like that might be a good one. She's Aha, imagine. A lot of people are thinking she's Aha. I don't think she's Aha. I do think she's like, I do think Nihilux is, I really like my thoughts are everywhere, which is, I mean, you guys are tuned into this by now. You guys know that my thoughts are always everywhere. What is the Nihilux theory from Cat? Theory, it was yeah, Cat with blue hat, legendary fucking theorist, by the way, like one of the OGs that inspired me to start doing this. But if you haven't seen this theory, insanely interesting theory, and I am very, there's a part of me that I can't find a reason to disagree, but my original thought about Nihilux, which is kind of similar, is that Nihilux is the central like mask, or like is the one that mastered being a masked fool as well as a morning actor. Goated theorist, exactly. I'm not sure about her being it. I'm like iffy about it, because I also like, I can see it though. I can see it. Because it is a bit interesting that in the original Silverwolf trailer, it was mentioned that, I'll just play this in the background while we're talking, is that in the original Silverwolf trailer, that it was the Aha looking character said they are a fickle god. They didn't refer to themselves, although Aha has been known to not kind of say it's them. So I don't know. It is an interesting one. I do feel like this one has a lot to going for her, because there is something about Nihilux. And we do know that she was part of the Morning Actors, which is kind of a crazy thing, because she does not look like she would be part of the Morning Actors. And I do, and if she is as powerful as Kat is saying, is like kind of claiming she is, which is like right about here, I think, then it's possible. Then I think it's realistic to say that maybe she's like only at it when she's like at the, she's only able to do it when it's like really at like end of times. She's the first character was shown in Planet Arcadia's promotional videos. Yes, exactly. So you know what? I will put that on there. I think that is a pretty goated thought. Goated theory, but also Nihilux will interfere. I think Nihilux it will interfere is fair enough. God, I always forget. By the way, I am actually dyslexic and cannot remember for the life of me how to, by the way, this is supposed to be 4.4. 4.4. Nihilux will interfere in the battle against Asat Pramad. By the way, the thing is something that goes towards her being Aha, as Aha's tears are somewhat of a famous thing in the lore. Is it? I might be dumb for this. What's Aha's tears? I might know what you're talking about, but I'm trying to remember. I thought it was Aha's smile was a thing. Aha's tears, HSR. The lust of laughter for tears. Tear in Planet Arcadia, I think, is sadness of relief of this. Now, Aha can cry is talked about. Oh, yeah, yes. I know what you're talking about, yeah. So laugh, both. See, I think that's why one of my big original theories was that Nihilux is not just was a masked fool, but also a morning actor. But she is a emanator of Elation, because she is able to control her emotions, or be able to feel the full range of emotions of Elation. And so the Elation is about balancing both sadness and happiness. I have to say, like, I admittedly so far, I think Amphorius as a plot point, while we're only halfway through this whole thing, but like Amphorius as a plot is like is still like, I think objectively the best story. I think Plan Arcadia is like my favorite region, period. Like, just the concept of how they explore Elation is so good. It's so interesting. They cover such interesting topics, such as like just like everything from depression to false happiness to drugs, literal drugs. Thanks, Aha, for joining the stream. But I think that it's just such an interesting perspective look on both reflective of modern society, but also a look into what is what's going on in the world, and like just looking and trying to understand one of life's oldest questions. I used to be if you haven't been able to tell, I used to study philosophy. One of life's oldest questions is like, what is the meaning of life, and how do I find happiness? It's just so much, and it's so great. I think they went really far into dipping their toes into much more sensitive topics. I do hope that I don't know what about it in China is like they can't really show it, but they can imply it. But I think they did a really good job in that. Yes. This is a question like, theory stuff. Could Aha be more than one person? Could someone descend be Haha? It's highly dependent on the thing. If you think about it, Asat Pramad is able to multiply himself. So theoretically, if Asat Pramad can multiply himself, by the way, crazy ass fucking power. Then Aha technically should be able to, and that might be why they have so many masks, right? They have multiple masks, so maybe each one represents a different part of themselves. And also, feel free if you're new to theories and stuff like that, just share it. This is a very kind community of people, and also everyone just be kind to each other. But yeah, and that tells a lot of modern day is sad as hell. It is, but I think it's stories like this that it has to be told in order to understand the perspective of how things are going or what's going on in the world. There's so many side quests and stories and just implications with Sparksy and everything as well, where there's like underlining theming to what of things going on. There's so much craziness, and I think that's amazing. I think they did a really, really good job so far. I'm very interested to see Astropolis. I want my HSR space political drama. I do kind of love the space political drama a bit. While we're doing this, I am going to actually farm for Himeko because your boy needs to. How many of you guys are actually pulling for Himeko? I would imagine like everyone. I can't imagine y'all not pulling for Himeko. Yeah, I feel like it. I mean, Hoyo scrutinizes consumerism in Penacony, political theater in Fontaine, corruption and consolidation, Sumeru, so they aren't. No, by no means they are. They aren't. But I feel like this is the most, like, in-your-face version of this, in my opinion. I mean, you know, they even mentioned the 15 minutes of fame and everything, like, the streamer life and all that. Like, I'm not sure of how many of you guys have been in China. The streaming culture in China is insane. It's crazy. It is so crazy. You lost your 50-50. I'm so sorry. I wish all of you great pulls for your Himeko. I can't bless Jack, but I hope you get her. I'm not able to bless anything. I'm gonna be honest with you. I lost my 50-50 too. So pulling for Rin. Good job adopting modern culture without it being cringe as heck. It is hard to do. There's a very specifically interesting thing. I'm not sure. I've mentioned this before. I'm not sure how many guys remember this, but I have family that works in the Chinese entertainment space, starting from Hong Kong and then going to China, which is why she has a very interesting perspective on things. And so one of the interesting things that she had mentioned is that in order for a lot of Chinese video game companies or like drama shows or stuff like that, they can't put it in a setting that is current and modern, where like things are going wrong, because that may imply that something bad's happening in the government, inside the society, which they don't want that. So anytime they tell a story of corruption, of societal like pains, of stuff like that, they have to put it in a setting that is fantasy or history or in a completely different country, so that it like is so it doesn't imply anything with the government, which is such a it's a crazy rule, but it apparently like it will like cause you to get like fined and shit, and like your stuff that you work so hard on to be like taken down. So a lot of times like when it's like implied, like it has to be in a fantasy like setting, it has to be something different. Very like it's a very interesting difference in the world. The streaming in China is specifically market-wise. The feelings of the government. Oh, yes. Yes. But, yeah. It's interesting. I will say, though, it's kind of funny how much that that Chinese games have evolved to be able to tell these stories in a very specific way. Do you think the reason AHA changed the prize to permanent Eon of Elation is because they plan to win their own game to guarantee they won't die? I remember seeing a theory about that. I think it was Ashikai who said that. It is funny. It is really funny because, like, because that's like never been mentioned again. You know, like it was never brought up. Like the Phantasmoon games kind of took a backseat to everything happening. So it has to come back, and that point has to be there. Like it has to come back. There was a wasn't there a there was a thing that people are saying that AHA took over the Trailblazer's body. So that could be I mean, there could be that, and AHA did that so that they win the Phantasmoon games, and then they become AHA again, right? I still like our discussion about Cypher's power. Like our idea that Amir being so great, it fools the entire world. Oh, yeah. So I was talking with AHA in my Discord. Dude, you got the name is crazy. But we thought it was it was so interesting that Cypher is the embodiment of Elation from Amphorius. So she is the literal personification of Elation. And so, theoretically speaking, her abilities should reflect Elation, right? And one thing that she's able to do is that her lies become true if people believe them. And that in itself, in a way, is imagenesis. With enough wish power, with enough belief, lies become reality. Their imagenesis.
You can't get rich by waiting.
Yeah. So it's an interesting kind of reflection point. It wasn't exactly put into it, which it makes sense. Like, yeah, they had to change some things, but like, it does put into a point where if Cypher were to paint something and say this was a portrait of something that's real, would that thing become real? Or is it specifically for her? It's her words. Well, I guess for Silverwolf, that's like ether hacking. But there's another thing that's really weird. Another big part of Cypher's abilities is the speed aspect. She's like super fast, and so there's no like thing about Someone who's really, really fast in the Elation. Although I'm not like, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a master thief, right? As a that's like part of the Mass Fools. Like that would be very, very, very like realistic to the Mass Fools. Like a phantom thief that's in the Mass Fools. Fucking Joker is in the Mass Fools. Oh my god, he has a mask. Holy shit, almost right. Well, Asat is fast as fuck. Oh shit, you do got me there. You do got me there. Actually, I didn't really think about that. He is pretty darn fast. He is I forgot about that point. That was his powers are crazy. His powers are insane. Like he has insane abilities. Asat Pramad is able to... You know, it is kind of weird about his abilities, though. Kind of reflect finality more than I feel like... I feel like his powers reflect finality more than it does, like... Elation sometimes. He is a bit wacky with how he walks around. That was the wrong thing. But... the dice thing where he does. Let me just look up the. Two people can beat Asat Aventurine. If Aha blesses Aventurine, he could beat Asat Pramad. I believe it. Here, let's just do mellows. This part right here, or no? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where he first like does his thing? No, that's Blades. Mavika fights. Here, this part.
Watch out! Pity. Such a clean strike.
I'm interested in these symbols because it's different from his original trailer where it was reflections of each of the paths. I don't think these are the paths anymore. Yes. Time is fake, but it has not been a year. I refuse to think so. I'm sorry about that. I am very much aware it's been a year. It's been a good year for me. I mean, I appreciate you all joining me and building this amazing community. I'm still learning and trying to keep up with everything, but you beautiful people have been very much a big part of that. Yeah, we're halfway through HSR Planet Roadmap. It's crazy. Like, let's see. But the odds of success are 0. So he talks about odds. He's able to see, like, I'm assuming this is all the different like versions of this exact fight or how it could go. We have like Graphia. We have March, which is a crazy, which is why I don't believe it's in this specific moment. It's completed all variables of what could be this fight of this moment. So there is another way. There is a world where March would have been here and actually fought Asat Pramad instead. There is another one where Himeko would have been here fighting Asat Pramad. Sunday, Welt. Oh, poor Welt. Danny boy. He said he can see the script. Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, that's the weird thing about it. You know, I don't want to go back to I was already wrong about this theory. That Icy is Elio. But I do think that, like, maybe Elio's like a split version of him or something. Like, he is said to have an interesting existence. And he's supposed to be part of the finality. And then Icy was supposed to have found the Omen Vanguard. If that part is false because of the history fictionologist, which, by the way, if you read up on Icy, it is said that his history was rewritten by the history fictionologist. That maybe it was Elio who founded the Omen Vanguard, or maybe Elio's like was one of the Trailblazers that was on the Express. Because I need help on a vote for something related to HSR and other gacha games. Is talking about other games allowed here, or you could talk about other games as long as there's other people who are down for the like. Just by all means, Apple Dash. You can talk about it as long as it just keeps the conversation going. I'm cool with it. You guys are free to do what you need to do on Dash. It is weird. That's why it doesn't make sense to me. Like Elio makes sense, and then they don't address the IC finality thing. And also, Elio is like Elio's cat. The cat is here in Planet Arcadia as well too, but the Stellaron Hunters are here too. So there is a bit of a weird thing. What if the part about Rocky is rewritten part? It explained that why no other version aside from trailer is Rocky ever mentioned. True. That is an interesting point. What if Rocky is Elio? Actually, no, that would be it. There is an aspect of this where I'm like, what if Elio, because I feel like Elio has to have some sort of relationship with Icy if they are the one, and Asat Pramad's able to see the script. And so there's one part where I'm like, maybe Elio is Falcon or was Falcon, and like kind of this weird relationship of master and like of like apprentice, right? Or Elio's Rocky, or Elio. I feel like there's something in me that makes me believe that Elio is somehow related with Asat Pramad / Icy. They have to know each other. Asat Omen Vanguard explained. Oh, that would be an interesting one, because Asat Pramad has the ability to split himself. Maybe one of the versions of himself decided that he would rather be good and then founded the Omen Vanguard. That could be it. In 4.2, Asat was talking about him to Silverwolf in a way too personal. Yeah, that's something, right? I don't know. It's just like there's some relationship there. There has to be some relationship there, because look, like this is you cannot convince me otherwise that this is not a ability of the of finality, especially right here, like near the end. By the way, this cutscene, coolest cutscene. This whole cutscene right here, one of the best cutscenes. Star. They upped their cutscene game so much, and I appreciate that, Star Rail. Fucking Gojo right here. Right here. No, not here. Sorry, he's T-posing. He's gonna start T-posing. Here, let's show. I have a feeling Elio will show up, not here, but in 4.7 or 4.8 or something like that. I have a feeling that that he will show up, and I think he will show up in the if he's related with Asat Pramad. I feel like he'll show up in a scene where we fight, where they fight Asat Pramad. I maybe not fight like he'll join the fight, but I do feel like he will end up joining the thing. Oh, I haven't done Currency Wars. Oh yeah, Let's do Currency Wars. You guys, and I'll have you guys do this for me while we're talking. Session level clip. Okay, cool. You guys can pick what I do. I'm at level 30. I'm at 34, so we'll figure this out. Cutscene wasn't amazing, but the cliffhanger wasn't. I actually think I really like the fact that they started doing shorter-ish stories, but they definitely really hit all the main points and really built out the second part. Yes, it was the most cliffhanger to have ever hanged off a cliff. This part, my dude. Dude, I love Asat Pramad. Letting us run his Currency Wars. Yeah. All right, you guys tell me what strategy and everything. I'll let you guys pick. We're in it for a long run, so we're gonna be talking. So whatever you guys want. Star Rail, honestly, because it would peaked if Himeko dies. Here's the thing. Objectively speaking, as a story, purely as a story, I won't deny that it does actually make sense for Himeko to die. I'm just gonna be honest here. I'm not saying it's good for just purely as a story point. I do think that Dunn leads into something where she even passes on the being a navigator to the Trailblazer, and then that's kind of like a kind of passing on the torch, and that is something that I feel like would work. But I don't feel like it works now because I don't think we have enough experience to take on that role. To be honest with you. Rico Reaper. I did not see it. I don't think so. I haven't seen the theory. Maybe I have, but remind me which one it is because I've read a lot of theories. Hinted at the Trailblazers' origins next patch from Asat Pramad. I wonder what he knows about this. What's in the chat? Oh my god, I have to roll back then. And he's capable of charting the charts just yet. See, that's my point. Like, they need to... Like, I do think if they were to kill off Himeko, they have to have, like, patches where they explain to the main character or someone else how to do her role. If they were gonna do it, right? It just doesn't make sense currently. And I feel like it would only make sense if there is a thing. By the way, I'm leaving this here because that's the whole point. Y'all get to pick 1, 2, or 3. Tell me which one. I'm leaving it there. I'm feeling the wealth gem. I'm just letting you know. But I'm just curious about what's the strategy here. I wonder if a character dies like Welt or Himeko, will we be able to go in their room? Oh, that would be interesting. I ain't touching the highest difficulty again. Because I'm scared to get demoted if I lose one. They don't demote you, do they? Number 2, when obtaining an investment strategy, gain 2 times the current number of investment strategies owned. Gold coins. Oh, interesting. 3, 3, 3. It seems like it's 3. All right, let's go with 3. I'm so used to playing this on my phone, by the way. It feels so weird. Oh, yes. Fate characters. I hope they do Fate better. I really, really hope they do Fate better this time around. I don't think there's anything. We're just gonna play through the first round for now. But I'm very excited for Rin and Gilgamesh. You know, a lot of people were complaining that they didn't like Gilgamesh's designs. This is me personally. I actually really like Gilgamesh's design. It is a little bit slutty, I'm not gonna lie. But I do like the design. I do very much like the design. Georgia, I've got a theory. What if Amphoria's characters were brought back as servants like Saber and Archer? Oh, I think they are. There was a thing. Yeah, they are. There was a one shot of Finon in the trailer. Let me find the thing. Nope, not that one. Nope. Where is it? It's going wild. They are. There was one shot of Finon in the trailer. Here. There. I can't find it, but it was like near the end. Love his design. Also, I love the joint attack thing they're doing. Dude, Archer and Rin's joint attack had my heart. As an old school Fate fan, right there. As an old school Fate fan, that had my soul. Right here. See? Amphoria's characters. I'm not sure all of Amphoria's characters. It does make sense for Finon to be back, so I feel like it's just a joke. They're never gonna release Lancer. Next patch, they're gonna have Caster and Ryder, and Lancer's still not gonna be released. I have a feeling they're just not gonna. This is just the joke. They're just not gonna do it. They're just not gonna release Lancer. Why won't they put oh, so if you don't know, the reason why they're not doing the English VA is because of it's a like contracting reason. The original Fate English VAs were so long ago. And also I think there's a specific contracting thing where the Fate characters should be represented by their Japanese something. I forgot exactly what it was, but it was like a contractual obligation. Because if they were going to do the English VAs, they would have to find the original ones. And some of them aren't able to do the voice, I guess, anymore. Through legal stuff or certain reasons, but there is like a genuine reason why it's only the Japanese VAs. There was one thing that was the Union game, but there was another one. One of them was the Union game. I think that was the English VA for Saber, but there was another reason for Archer. I feel like there was. EA said something. Yeah, I don't remember. It's held by another company. That's right. It's the studio is held by a different one, and so it is a bit weird. Back in the day, and it still is a little bit. Studios weren't for anime dubbing wasn't as like fluid or like as compatible as it now, and it kind of happened is that they just kind of threw the English dub to whoever could take it, and that's why you get like joke series like Ghost Tales. Which I do kind of want to watch drunk one day, which I feel like would be hilarious. Excalibur. Yeah, so it does seem like they purposely did this so that you would know that some maybe M4A's characters are coming back. I would guess, if I had to take a guess, they would probably pull Finon and Cyrene as like two servants to go as. I feel like they would. What is your theory about Finon's present? Like, Herda made some progress? Oh, are you mean in the Fate thing, or are you thinking in general? If it's a Fate thing, they did the summoning circle earlier in the thing, and apparently this is actual Rin, by the way. This is Rin that was canon Rin somehow ended up in the Star Rail universe, and then summoned the MC as their servant. So we're Rin's servant. That's exactly what's happening. Finon Saber, Cyrene Caster. Oh, 100%. Finon Saber. Ooh, wait, no, Finon Berserker. Finon Berserker. I'm telling you, Finon Berserker. That would be that you tell me that's not correct. That would be correct. I feel like Finon Berserker would make so much sense. They would have to get his side of Fate, yeah. So for the use the Stellaron, dude, that would be crazy. I need to win. Blow up Plan Arcadia. Oh my god. You know, I was thinking about it. I remember this came into my brain when right before the stream. I kind of want to do a stream. This is a little insensitive, I won't lie. This is a little insensitive and a little messed up. Oh, let's see. What do I want to play as? Let's do a follow-up might happen. I want to see if I can get Ashvale. Hello. Do you read the official HSR post on Fate Collab Part 2? They give a brief summary on the plot this time. I did. Maybe I missed it on the Hoyo Labs side of things. I'm honestly, as a Hoyo person, I'm also like notoriously bad on reading Hoyo Lab stuff, which is maybe on me. But by the way, also thank you for the super. Yes. Apparently Aniplex holds English yep. Okay, so hear me out. Saridra, Ruler, Cyrene. I don't think they're gonna do all. Ooh, maybe they would do all Amphorius. Just to milk the Chrysos heirs. That sounds weird. Don't take that out of context. That sounds really weird. But who Rin is? I'm gonna be so honest with you, Apple. This is if you don't play Fate, it is a little hard to explain all of Fate. Rin is from by the way, you guys pick while I figure out how to explain this. Rin is from, I feel like this one is Rin is from Fate Stay Night and Fate Grand Order, depending on how you look at it. But essentially, think about it as historical war between historical heroes. And Rin is one of the characters that summons a hero there, and then shit happens. Go watch Fate Stay Night. It's still good. It lives. Ufotable still fucking kills it. As an animator, I still think that's Stay Night. Stay Night is really good. I will say my favorite Fate series is Fate Zero. Fate Zero is still my favorite one, and I'm like halfway through. I'm like late on this. I'm halfway through watching Fate Strange Fake. I'm like halfway through. They just introduced the Hercules. I'm not sure if that's like a spoiler. Fake Strange Fake. Do you think we'll get lore on Pom Pom through Asat Pramad? I think we'll get Asat Pramad lore through Pom Pom. That's one of my theories, actually, is that I think Asat Pramad, by the way, 1, 2, or 3. You guys are still playing this. I think Asat Pramad, I want lore from Pom Pom on Asat Pramad. Like, IC will be brought up to Pom Pom next year. Next time I'll write it's a joke at the end of the message, since if you know what I mean wasn't enough. I'm sorry. On 2. Because the first 2 episodes turned me off. It does get better. I'm not gonna lie, the first couple episodes was a little bit of drag. It's slow. It is a slow start. Sorry, I was like looking at show that. Yeah, here. I think the red gem one. Yeah. I don't know. What if Himeko ascended into an Eon of Trailblaze? I think that's kind of be the MC's role. I feel like it's more likely that that she's gonna be the first emanator of Trailblaze in like since Akavelli. I feel like that's going to be more the run, because it would explain something that has been kind of in the background question since the beginning of the story. Whenever they introduced like a path that's been destroyed, one of the big questions was like, okay, well, what happens to how do Pathstriders still get abilities? And if that's the case, if they're still able to get abilities, the path's not technically destroyed. So 1, can a different person rise as an Eon of the same path? And 2, how does one become an emanator? And I feel like Himeko is going to be the first example we get of an emanator of a quote unquote dead path. Not really dead path, but you get what I mean. It's a Eonless path. We'll do that for now. I want to do this for now, so we figure this out. I would love to see that happen, since theoretically a dead Eon shouldn't be able to gaze at people. I don't know, man. The whole emanator thing about them gazing or like a power thing got like completely reworked ever since Asat Pramad was like, there's a bunch of, it was like, or was it Silverwolf that was like, there's a whole bunch of emanators on Planet Arcadia, and they're referring to herself, but also like Pearl, was it Pearl, Yao Guang, and Evanescia. Evanescia, I could believe, isn't 100% full-fledged emanator of abundance. We just haven't been able to see her at her best, which also implies to me that there is going to be a later in the story SP of her that she just becomes like her original self. But it does kind of answer a little bit of a question, which we were concerned about the whole time, which was Yao Guang and Pearl. And Pearl's the weird one because she's one of those like emanators by technicality. And I guess Yao Guang a little bit, but I feel like Yao Guang is more of like an actual emanator of the hunt. And so I want to make I actually want to make a updated video. I should start one of these. Who would be better right now? Let's just run Jiao Cho for now. I do want to remake my theory about emanators, because it seems like they're doing like tiered emanators. And it also feels like, which is one of the crazy things, is that the emanators of destruction, the Lord Ravagers, are so insanely strong compared to other emanators. Like, it's almost like incomparable. It's to the point where I do wonder if the assumption of Marshall Hua being an emanator of the hunt, could Marshall Hua fight 1v1 Asat Pramad? Could Marshall Hua fight Iron Tomb or Zephyros? Well, it's kind of, but at the same time, it's kind of implied that Acheron's going to fight Zephyros. Could she 1v1 Zephyros, right? It seems clear that Yao Guang herself and Jing Yuan and maybe Fei Xiao wouldn't be able to 1v1 Asat Pramad. But are there like higher tier emanators of those individual paths that are able to do so? Or exactly, they're such on a higher level that I feel like there has to be some explanation. Sure, their destruction, like their path involves destroying things. But it is weird, isn't it? It is a bit of a weird thing. I can't help but be like, who dat? How far are you, Apple? Keep in mind, we have no clue what Evernight can't do. That is true. That is one thing that's so funny. My gauge in the story of shit's going down is if Evernight shows up. Because if Evernight shows up, then shit's really bad. Then we're really, really boned. Things are not going well. If Evernight shows up, we're deep shit. That's like my thing. I've gotten an AHA theory. AHA is actually dozens of different people who ascended into Elation of different masks, Nihilix being a mask. That is an interesting one, but it's been the only thing. I would say that there's a possibility of that, but less as the in session, because we do have the confirmation that they ascended from a single person. I do believe that the possibility that they could have released a bunch of masks version of themselves, and maybe that's the emanators of Elation, and that's those masks are able to be independent from each other. But I could see something similar to that. Let's say yes, that's solely based on Hua going face to face with Eva in her best of times, and Asap go Sable Evanesia, so he doesn't have to deal with that. Oh, that is true. That is true. I didn't even think about that. That Evanesia. Actually, you know what? It's another. You know what? Let's throw this back on here. Crazy thing. By the way, we haven't seen Evanesia in a minute. Evanesia wakes up, please. Nesia comes back. Maybe it comes back. Maybe that's like maybe she's the one that actually helps, like she becomes her former self and is able to help Nihilix like hold off Asat Pramad. I feel like she has to come back, right? In 4.4. Danny is not really that strong, but Welt is powerful enough this time. Acheron and Zephyros is definitely a duality of two self-annihilators, but different takes on how to perceive its finality. Yes. Hello. To fight Iron Tomb, that's what's scary. Yeah, Evernight did. She just passed it on to March, the abilities. Kuchiba, I don't think we're gonna get anything until honestly, I don't think we're gonna get anything on Kuchiba until like weirdly Astropolis. Because the implication is that she's in a faction outside of the she's in a faction like outside of I can't think of words. What are words? How do you speak? How do words work? This is gonna be so cursed, by the way. I'm sorry, Saber. We're not running you right now. This is so cursed, by the way. Martial Law defeated Evanescence so easily, so she doubts the Eon of Abundance powers. We'll get more Kuchiba lore. This will be a cliffhanger, I fear. I don't think so. I don't think 4.4 will be a cliffhanger. Well, I guess, well, they've all kind of been cliffhangers, but like, I think it's not going to be a traditional cliffhanger. Because we know we're going to Astropolis. Because Robin in a bikini and adventuring in swim trunks surfing. So I don't think it's gonna be a cliffhanger because we know where we're going next. Ever gets out of 4.4, then that means the Elwood is weak at the moment. That's why Evanescia went back to rest, if I'm remembering correctly. Which may be the plan. I mean, I'm kind of on this idea that Evanescia is going to interfere. And I like the idea of the veracity coming back, and maybe it's the veracity that slows Asat Pramad down. There's a lot of irony in the story recently, especially with Himeko's thing, but like there would be an irony in Asat Pramad being slowed down by the veracity since they took the veracity shadow. Yes. So I do think there's something to that that's a bit I don't know. It's a weird thing. It is. I feel like everyone is kind of on the same boat that it's not going to be that Asat Pramad is not over. Like, because they did say that Elation would be the overarching theme, so that does make sense. And we don't have a playable Nihilux, which I feel like is going to happen. Polka, cheapest Polka. Dude, at this point, I'm Polka. Bro, I'm Polka Kakamon. At this point, just believe it. We're gonna need... I think we're gonna need folding knife. I'm convinced that Asat is a discarded mask of Aha, like Sparksy's mask. That would depend if En route is also is a discarded mask. But it was En route was a I don't know. The masks are very interesting. You know, I do think one of the I was like Vampy. I just go back to you because you write a lot of theories on my thing. But Vampy, were you the one that said that we're talking about the hero within? Like theory? That this might be tied to the Trailblaze.
What?
Because there's a interesting point where this is the second time we've seen this like conversation within, and it's kind of been shown that this is not an imagenesis, an imagine. So I do like the idea that this could be an indication
Himeko?
of the Trailblaze. Of the Trailblaze, where it might be that those who are destined for the path of Trailblaze, it might be the similar thing to even like where is it? Let me try to find like Silverwolf's old like fucking trailer. This one? Yeah, this thing. This part, literally right at this part here. Where Aha's way of picking out an emanator is they throw out like seeds, things that could become things, and they wait for someone to be able to do something with it. And if they're able to do something with it enough, they do a final test. Or maybe have another one of their emanators, masks, or whatever do a test on behalf of them. And it does make me wonder if this is something similar. That this is maybe like the Trailblazes seed or test, where those that are in hardship or could become someone great, that they become that they gain like a hero within or a person that will help them push through their hard times.
Something you want to paint, haven't you?
That's kind of where I'm like thinking of. Oh, thank you, disconnected again, because the Nanook requires his emanators to make emanators. I can't read. Enemies out of literally everyone. He's probably more inclined to give them power. I thought wasn't it stated that the Lon gives Lon gives an insane amount of their power to the generals. I'm pretty sure it was stated that, right? Like Lon makes up for the fact that his path is very narrow by giving a majority of his powers. But I guess destruction is very broad. Proto Imagine. It could be. But it could be. I guess it was shown that Himeko was painting before, so with our new navigator in 4.8 trust, I'd believe it. I would believe it. Is there anyone here that we'll do Aventurine because we need a better healer than Jiao. I'm sorry, Jiao. I'm sorry, Jiao. They ain't gonna work, my dude. I am actually going to use the restroom very quick. You guys watch over my currency wars and make sure I don't lose immediately, please. Thank you. I need to catch up. Oh my god. Oh, you're in 3.1, my dude. I hope you're okay with us like spoiling a lot of what happens in 4 point something. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers in this chat. Do I want to know? We'll just do the random basic equipment. That without context would be crazy. Yeah, you know, you come back from anything. Trust you guys. Guys are respectable, chat. Spoiling 1 year's worth of story. I think by that time, maybe you guys won't remember it. This was Currency Wars. No, it's Currency Wars. It's Currency Wars. Dude, honestly, Currency Wars is by and far like one of my favorite game modes. I love it. It's a fun time, honestly. We should probably figure out what to do here. What else? Himeko, no die, please. Very accurate. Icy will be brought up to Pom Pom. Asat Pramad will not be defeated in 4.4. Galaxy Rangers will show up, please. Nihilix will interfere in the battle against Asat Pramad. Evanesia comes back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need 4 more. 4 more! Oh yeah, 3.1 is a great story. 3.1 is among my favorites, one of my favorite stories in Amphoreus, I'm not gonna lie. All the navigators will show up in front of Himeko. She's gonna have an avatar moment. She's gonna see the line. She's gonna go into the avatar state. That's what Himeko Nova is gonna be. Oh, Deca Reflection Barrier works. I mean, the weird part about her thing, her whole entire point was to track down Asat Pramad with a Decrolite Reflection Barrier, if I remember correctly. They don't really need to track him down anymore. They found him. I mean, I guess they did mention in the live stream that that Asat Pramad disappears with Himeko somewhere, and they have to go find her. So I guess there's that too. Yes, this is a Billy's trailer. It's one of the best it's one of the best themes Hoyo would put out. Only the Himeko Master of Navigation can stop them, but she knows she vanished. Oh, please. I don't need to see a Himeko avatar like fan artwork. I would rather actually not see that. That would be lovely. Let's see. Welt will use his powers. I feel like that's a given. Will it work, though, is a question. I guess Welt using his powers, but I think we need to add a point here because we do kind of have an implication that he will use his abilities. It's more so, is it going to be effective? And what is it going to do? So, for those of you who are thinking that Welt's going to use his powers, which by all means, you know, that sounds great. But, like, what will that happen? Reveal if there's any relation. It's technically confirmed that Firefly's condition is due to propagation. Even though it is... I think, honestly, it's just a design choice that they did the cracking with the blue light, which... because Firefly's condition has been confirmed to be due to propagation. That is, like... It's been almost like a guarantee. The Last Airbender or the Blue Aliens? Neither. I don't need fan art of either. I'm going to be honest with you. How powerful will he be? Is Asat and have another clone outside of Planet Arcade? That's a good one. That is interesting. He uses life energy for reasons he was the real Himeko. Ooh. Oh, wait, that is interesting. Himeko Nova is the real Himeko. Okay, I think we should probably figure out one thing have one theory about the real Himeko. Explain if Himeko was so emphasizing... yeah, that would... I think it's weird because Himeko and Firefly have related conditions, but let me think Nanook's Golden Blood. Yeah, I think, honestly, it's weird they chose design. Maybe they're going to retcon something. Maybe they're changing something, but it is confirmed in the lore for Glamoth, the Glamoth Riders, or Cavalry, Iron Cavalry, that it is a propagation condition. My theory is that our Himeko is OG Himeko and not the Imagine. Ooh. That personally goes against my theory, but I'm willing to write it down. Himeko Nova looks younger. Was a name in the trailer description, but we haven't seen it in the game. That's true. Maybe the whole Himeko Matoka thing, since it's live stream, you look in the cast. Oh, that is actually true. Okay, fuck it. I'll write it down. It's just it's our together community prediction. So Himeko Nova is the real Himeko. I'm down. It's gonna fuse with Imagine Himeko. It's gonna they're gonna do a Dragon Ball fusion. That would be something. I had this one thing. This is kind of random, but it's just because we're listening to the Fire Emblem OST. By the way, if you don't know, this is the Fire Emblem OST. I kind of want Star Rail, and they will never do it. I don't think they'll ever do it. To have like two different paths for a region, where if you pick one side, it goes into one way, kind of like the three houses from Fire Emblem. That would be cool. I don't think they would ever do it, but it would be cool. And each banner could be characters that's represented whenever you're in the story for all of those paths. This is a random thought, but it's in my head for a while. MC and allows MC to become the winner of the Phantasm Games. Like, what did Himeko do in her Minute of Eon hood? Oh, yeah, okay. I guess I should write this down because this is my theory. Himeko won the Phantasm Games and used her wish to... This is just the music. If you know what the music is. Himeko won the Phantasm Games, used it to wish for the Astral Express to be arrived, to revive, to face the Peng Poo. The greatest track that they ever put out. I love it. I need to get this. I need to get this a clip of this and put it on like my stream or as like as a sticker or something for our Discord. EOS, dude, I love EOS. Are the best mascots in gacha games. There is an EOS plush. By the way, there is an EOS plush. You can use my link to go get it too if you want. There is an EOS plush. There is a couch pillow of EOS, by the way. Dude, EOS is by and far one of my favorite mascots. Bang Boos are like the most friend-shaped like characters in gaming. Period. Love that. It's so good. It's so good. Bangbu focus on a scaler. Yeah, I'm actually really like, this is a side note. I'm very much loving ZZZ 3.0, like the raw scaler for thing so far. I think it's brilliant. I think they're doing a really good job. It does seem like it's Xiaoji that's making the story. So I'm waiting for it to be depressing, which it kind of already is. We're getting to that point, but it is interesting. Joke theories are welcome. The conversation between Himeko said the roll the dice and take my place. I think that Imagine Himeko is saying this to the young Himeko instead. Yeah, I feel like that's the flip, right? Let's get to that trailer once more. Let's try
One more time. Let's join the Phantasmoon games and make a wish to the omnipotent laughter. In the time we have left, roll the dice one more time. Then you can take my place.
There's another place where she talks in that kind of like filtered voice.
False hope.
Where is it? Where is it?
Once accompanied by a star-chasing giant. Giant? Blazing deep into the stars. Just like...
I don't know, because there's to me, the voice doesn't sound like the Imagine Himeko. Because if you listen to the
time we have left, roll the...
So it's...
And make a wish to the omnipotent laughter.
Because that sounds like more like the Himeko we know.
In the time we have left, roll the dice one more time.
Otoko.
Then you can take my place.
That sounds more like her though. That doesn't sound like the Imagine. I honestly think it is a not a better story, but I do think there is a certain like tragedy, I feel, if they go full in on the idea that the Himeko we know is an Imagine, and there's like a beauty in the story of her becoming real. Well, you know, it's like the Pinocchio becoming a real boy type thing. And I think there's an aspect of that. I also think it's highly depressing. Like if that is the case, it really leans into the tragedy of Himeko's character. That Himeko wanted to achieve something knowing that she would never be able to achieve it. And so we, as you know, as kind of like when we grow up, we always have this like belief of our image of ourselves as superheroes, of our heroes and stuff like that. And this is very literally her ideal self, right? And so it's like the opposite of what it should be, where you become your ideal self. She can't become her ideal self, and her ideal self takes life and form to take over for it. I think that, to me, leans more into Hoyo's version of tragedy. If that's my case, if that's just my like, this is not like evidence from lore or something, but more like from just experience with their storytelling. I feel like they would lean more into wanting my creation to take the life that I was never able to. No clue to pull for. Himeko or not, or honestly. Do you have Astro Express members? You know, that is one thing I'm very happy about Himeko's kit. I saw some of the pre like the early access stuff. It seemed her having to work with other like Astro Express members I really like, because that also implies that we're gonna get more Astro Express like crew members, which is cool. I'm waiting for that. I want more Astro Express crew members. That would be cool. This is great art. This is great art. Told her not to use it.
Definitely become a navigator.
Not to mention, they did my yeah, this part right here. Oh yeah. Mercilessly hide her in the trailer. She will disobey Blade's order and advice. Oh no. Either way, I feel like it's gonna be a pretty heavy patch. A lot of questions about going on. To use the wish to revive for the Astro Express. It is funny. I do, you know, one of my kind of like a full circle moment for me is I'm not sure how long you guys been following me or how many of you guys remember this, but one of my first theories on this channel, one of my first ones that actually got me like started was let's see if I can find it. This was one of my first theories was, let's see, go all the way back here. Right here, 2 years ago, was Himeko's background lore theory. And now we're finally getting it. After 2 years. One of my first theories to take off was this one right here. Who is Himeko? It's crazy. I still think at the time that Himeko, with what we knew in context, that Himeko being like Ruby, like a former Stoneheart, worked. There was no way I would have believed if you told me 2 years ago that Himeko was part of was from Elation. No way. There would have been no way I would have been. It's crazy. Here's my joke theory. Let me add to the list. Breaks her tie back on what game to catch up on. Oh my god. Catch up on all roll the dice. Roll a D20 like Asat Pramad and pick which one was that. Elation, basically she is like erudition. Like she was so good. I mean, she has 15 years experience, I guess, but it was like she was so unusually good at the time at negotiation and IPC like conversations, money management and investment, that it was like, it was kind of on the nose where like she had to have experience somehow. And I guess this one's correct. You know, oh, you know what would be kind of fun? When I hit 25K, what do you guys think about doing this? When I hit 25K subscribers, I think for a special, I'll do a live stream where we tier list maybe, look back at my theories and see which ones were right and which ones were very, very wrong. I think that would be kind of fun. I think that would be interesting. Yeah, I think it would. I do think, like, objectively as a theorist, like I think most people aren't right most of the time or a lot of the time. I don't think I'm right that many times, but I do think that a lot of us have like a little bit that we're correct on. Like one of my first theories that really, like, one of the theories that really popped off in it when I started Amphorius was my March is an emanator of remembrance, which was kind of right. But yeah, no, I think it would be kind of fun. Everything regarding Stellarons, I remember your reaction in 3.8. It is the Harmony. Oh my fucking god. Although it does kind of make sense. The Stellar... Oh yeah, you know what? Here, we should probably write this down. There's a Stellaron on Plan Arcadia. We should probably... I feel like we might as well. Absolutely right. Damn, disconnected. Thank you so much for the super chats. I made a mistake. They described the plot of the part 2 collab during the they did. Yeah, they explained it a little bit during the live stream. It sounds better. I actually think I think the how they described the story for the Fate one, I think sounds like it's going to be better, which I'm very glad for, because I honestly did not like the original Fate collab story. It was very like surface level. And I don't play Wuwa. This is nothing against Wuwa. I just don't have the time to play Wuwa. But I heard the Cyberpunk Edge Runners collab with Wuwa was amazing. And was like almost like a sequel or something, like a follow-up to the original story. And I want that a bit. And it sounds like they're kind of going for that a little bit, but maybe in a little bit more of a comedic way. And that's kind of where I think they're going with it. And I'm okay with a comedic story. I just want it to be good. I want it to mean something, you know? Yeah, roll D6, dude. Roll a D6 and pick one of those games. Is it okay, this is gonna sound like a dumb question. Is it just called a normal dice if it's just a D6 at this point? It's just a dice? Because it's just a normal dice, right? Dumb question. I still think Shipe is one of the 3 Eons. Enna, Ouroboros, and Taziroth. Wait, which are the 3 Eons? Oh, 3 Eons. Sorry, I read that so wrong. Enna, Ouroboros, and Taziroth. Why Ouroboros though? Taziroth I can somewhat understand, but not why not the other ones? It's kind of ass that the banner only lasts 30 days. I didn't get Lucy. Yeah. Oh yeah, let's figure this out. Let's just put March for Express. I just need something. I'm not planning to win this one. While this is going on, is that all of the predictions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more prediction. I'll leave that to you guys. Whichever one. Whatever one. Can I put a poll? Actually, can I do a poll? Oh, I can start a poll. If you guys have some predictions, I'll leave this last one to someone in chat. I think would be great. And this is my first time, I think, referring to you guys as chat. I think, you know, okay, this is going to age me a little bit. But I remember the first time I heard that chat was being used as a slang for people to talk to refer to like a group of people when they're talking. Like, hey, chat, when talking with a group of people in person. It made me cringe so hard that I almost refused to say the word. Like, it like hurt me in my soul. I was like, oh my God, no. No. Rocky will do a cameo. Goated answer, actually. That is great. Don Hung will use Imbiber Lunae form. He is using his Amphoreus form. Didn't he already use his Imbiber to Lunae form already? That's a good question, actually. Is his Imbiber to Lunae form better or his Amphoreus form? It's also crazy that the Amphoreus forms still work. I think I want to understand how that happens. I want to understand how that works. Has the Weathering Curse. Ooh, wait, that is interesting. Although I could believe Asat having the Weathering Curse, but it not affecting him because he's part of the destruction. Evernight is an Amphoreus. That I could believe. But the thing is, Don Hung's came from a core flame. I think. Just how does... Yeah, it's a big question. Himeko does not die. Yeah, you'd be dead by now. Asat would actually be a Xander situation, especially turns against Nanook and finds out Akavelli became a Terminus. Oh, that's a whole ass thing. Actually, I'm not gonna put this here, but I'll put this as a bonus one. if you guys are in my Discord, you might remember I have this weird fucking theory. This really weird theory that has absolutely no standing or evidence at all. I think there is more evidence of this being wrong than right, but I just can't get it out of my head that Evanesia will join the Stellaron Hunters. Don't know why. Don't like, I'm not counting this. This is just a bonus because this is kind of like the last, but not really last, part of Planet Arcadia. Probably more like if this were to happen, it would be like 4.7 or 8. But I have this really weird one. I don't know why. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Yeah. Bonsai. That is kind of a funny thought. I will say, I think by the end of 4.8, this is not a theory for now, or not a prediction for now. I do think Evanesia will leave Planet Arcadia. She has so much want to go and explore places that, whether that's with the Stellaron Hunters or the Astro Express, I feel like she would. And by the actual like paths, it would technically make more sense for her to be part of the Astro Express, I think, because she represents abundance, and elation, which we have elation a bit with Himeko technically, in terms of like the Astro Express is we have the Trailblaze finality. We have Don Hung is permanence, previous permanence in Trailblaze, and I guess a hunt a little bit. March is remembrance / enigmata. And then so it does kind of make sense that with Evanesia that flows into, and all it says Sunday's harmony / order, and then Evanesia would be like abundance / elation. So it does work because with the Stellaron Hunters, the one thing that is going for Evanesia really well for the Stellaron Hunters is that she is an emanator. And I still stand by my theory, and it feels like it's actually being proven right, minus the last part, that the Stellaron Hunters are all going to be or at emanator level to a certain degree. And it does seem like that they're going with that. Like Blade has now the power of Shuhu, is able to at least use it. Silverwolf is an emanator of elation, going to be would have been the strongest one, or it might be. Firefly is going to get the core of the Glamoth, the queen, the empress, the empress. So she's going to be a propagation like empress, emanator like being of propagation. Kafka, we still don't know. She's going to get one hell of a sword. That's all we know. I'm still on the mindset that Kafka is beauty. It just makes sense. It's either beauty or harmony. I'm feeling beauty just because of her backstory. And she has a lot of similarities to Aglaya. She has a lot of similarities to Aglaya. That Graphia's family is Aha's descendants, like Dahong. This, could be. That would be interesting. I see. Is the strongest one when she uses the cartridge. The point is controlling cartridge. They right, keeping it for the future. Yep. I just think the thing is with Evanesia joining the Stellaron Hunters, that's the main thing that would be going for her, is the emanator, but has limitations. She can use her emanator hood, but she would just go buck wild and just murder a lot of people, which is kind of crazy. Like I'm not sure if you guys remember, like there was an implication that she could just off 300,000 people in a planet like that. Like if she needed to. Raffia, I don't know if I feel that, because I feel like there's a lot of inherited family going on. Like, I think one of the craziest things like that is there's this crazy thing that for if you think about it, like Himeko
Murata family begins
really
at birth.
looks up
No
to,
exceptions.
she actively says right here, where is it?
Falcon appeared. He rallied the people to clear the obstructed Silver Rail and reignite the Trailblaze once more. Do you aspire to become a hero like Falcon? No. My dream is the same as those two travelers. From the day they witnessed the fall.
There is such like I just kind of don't trust Asat Pramad anymore. Like, it's to the point where I do wonder if he told her the story of Icy, the navigator, and purposely got her to see him in a heroic light. Like, this is so on the nose, it's just crazy. It is so absolutely crazy. Just the amount of full circles in this whole entire like little patch, like little like theming going on. Yeah, no, he was genuine. I'm not saying that it's a plot, but like I do wonder if there's a part of him that wishes still to be the hero, right? Asat Pramad is such an interesting character. I think he is probably the most interesting villain we've seen so far in the story. And it's to the point where, like, even after everything, you actually still don't really know if he's the bad guy. He is the bad guy, don't get me wrong. He's a fucking terrible person. But at the end, like, his intention seems to be... Like, let me replay this part.
Akivili was wrong. The cosmos didn't need a horizon or a paradise.
By the way, one of my favorite comments I've ever seen on one of my videos was on the Asat Pramad explain short, and it was like what was it again? It was, this man made his problem, his existential crisis, everyone's problem. And I was like, that is so true. My dude is a walking existential crisis and decided to make it everyone's problem.
And my next stop didn't lie here. At the world's end, I saw Adlevin's flames illuminating the stars.
See, there's such an interesting thing here.
Humans, show me your dignity. With my hands.
By the way, amazing voice acting. Insane.
Only those who
I'm also very glad I think in the Japanese version, his voice is a lot more like high pitched, like a Joker, like type thing. That was very wrong. But I'm glad they went with a deep, like hollowing, like voice versus someone that's like more like kind of whimsical. I think it adds a lot more like interest to his character. I made a cool idea for a character, a Punklordian, who is an emanator propagation via fusing a piece of Tazaroth into his cartridge, becoming a computer bug. Like, it's a virus. It's a computer virus. Oh, that's kind of funny. That is actually pretty good. No matter what someone else tells me, Asai is a good father in a lot of ways. Ooh, that is interesting. I don't know if he's a good father. He definitely plays a father. He has commitment issues. He has such an interesting I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Aha is still in the chat. But he pointed out to me a theory that is very interesting about Asat Pramad, which is kind of proving to be true, that his inspiration actually came from Buddhism and Buddha. And I was like, when they first pointed it out to me, I was like iffy about it. And then they did this in the actual live stream, which was kind of crazy. By the way, the idea was that Asat Pramad's journey reflects the journey of the Buddha. And if you don't know the journey of the Buddha, it's been a while since I studied this, but they basically tried out a bunch of different religions and philosophies. And as they were trying out a bunch of religions and philosophies, they came upon something and was meditating and became enlightened in that way. And so this is honestly almost like a dark version of the journey of the Buddha, where they ended up being enlightened by destruction. And there is and very interestingly, oh my God, this is going to be such a pain in the ass to find, by the way. Oh my God, hold on. This is going to be such a pain in the ass to find. Where do they show his boss fight? They show his boss fight somewhere here. Where's his boss fight? This is such a funny animation, by the way. This is Himeko. Here we go. Here we go.
Not playing around.
If you don't play, high hopes of the falsely enlightened.
Here you go. High hopes of the falsely enlightened. And when I saw that, I was like, that's good. That's good. That is good. That is good. And I was like, that's like a vindication for that theory. High hopes for the falsely enlightened. The Buddhism thing is definitely apparent with see, I took the Buddhism route to be more for the eons in general, as a reflection of eons being a reflection of the enlightened by a philosophy, as opposed to something else. That an eon is reflective of a Buddha, and that they are set in their philosophies, and as they engulf themselves into that philosophy, they become enlightened, and through that enlightenment they ascend. And that's essentially like the journey of the Buddha, except for a very specific philosophy. Wrong. Started the whole indoctrination again. Japan. Well, Japan has Buddhism. By the way, Buddhism is I am technically Buddhist. Buddhism is a very, very weird religion. It's more of a philosophy that was applied to a lot of religions. And so one of the best examples is like Journey to the West, if you ever read it. They kind of just added the Buddha as a character to a bunch of these mythological like creatures and gods and stuff like that. So Buddhism is a very weird one, very interesting religion and concept. And so it does like kind of show here. But I think that's I do think that this is like such an interesting like concept of in terms of Asat Pramad. I was originally gonna make a video about Asat Pramad, and I was gonna actually put it out like today, but I ended up holding it back on it because we're gonna get the new story patch, and I wanted to see if there was anything left that was interesting prior to putting it out. But I want to do I kind of want to start like a Villains Explained series for Star Rail, and kind of talking through their inspirations and what like where they come from mythology, how that affects their characters, and do more like less I guess this would be less theorizing and more like character analysis. It would be interesting. Thought it was Buddha plural. There's Buddhas. Buddhas is like anyone who's enlightened. And there might that might I'm not gonna say 100%. I know for a fact, I'm not an expert, but there are at least in the Chinese version of Buddhism, there is multiple Buddhas. Aha is the enlightened eon, and Asat boss is called High Hopes of the falsely enlightened. Yeah, exactly. It's so on the nose. It's very on the nose, and it's very good. I very much like it. And it's reflective of the journey that Asat Pramad takes. Goes through. It goes from trying to be the savior personality of trying to do good by bringing joy, only to find it be corrupted, and then goes to join the Trailblaze, and then Machiavelli falls. He doesn't even talk about the finality at all, which I don't know about. But actually, you know what? Here, that should be the last one. IC's finality background addressed. Because that is something we don't. There's nothing about it. Like I really hope they like mention something about, unless they retcon it, but like I really do hope they mention something about IC's finality background. He was supposed to be the founder of the Omen Vanguard, and they mentioned nothing about that. It could be enigmata, but I want it to be addressed. At the very least, like mention. At the very least, Evernight comes back and is like, "Oh yeah, I did that. I forgot about that. I did that." You know, like something. I kind of, there's a part of me, just so I can be right, that that Icy split himself up or some shit, and Elio is one of those versions and became one of the founded the Omen Vanguard. Because Elio founding the Omen Vanguard and going to the Stellaron Hunters just works so well. That works so well. It really does. Speaking about Stellaron Hunters, another one of my favorite comments that I saw recently was that Blade leaving like all these like gifts for the Stellaron Hunters, and then he leaves like a master sword for Kafka and then like the heart of the Glamoth Empress, and then he just leaves like he leaves a cat scratch poach for Terminus. Elio gets a cat scratch post, or Terminus gets a cat scratch post. I think it's so funny. Yeah, it's good. Okay, I think that's gonna be the predictions. What do you guys think? This one's the most important one. I'm actually gonna highlight it. It's the most important theory. Either way, I do think Evanessi is leaving. Like, okay, I want to get a poll. You know what? I'm gonna start a poll. I want to see this. By the end of plan or of the 4.0 patches, what will happen to Evanessia? I'm just gonna spell this wrong. Evanessia. Yes. Joins Astral Express. I want to see how many of you disagree with me. Joins Stellaron Hunters. Stays on Plan Arcadia. Stays on Plan Arcadia, or something else. Start poll. I want to see this. This is going to be the last thing for this stream. I want to see this. I want to see how many of you disagree with me. Oh man, I think that would be funny. Elio loves cats so much he made a cult just for them. It's a very small cult. Actually, no, the Omen Vanguard, yeah, I guess it is a larger cult technically. How many of y'all are gonna agree with me? I want to know. But yeah, these I think. What do you guys think? These 10, 11 predictions for 4.4. Anyone disagree? Any other ones? Yes. It's not a cult of the lamb. It's cult of the kitty. That's good. That is good. That is good. I'm guessing since I know nothing about the character, taking pot shots as effectively. Nah, dude, just guess. You're rolling a dice, anyways. I voted for for Stellaron Hunters. I thought you would say. I honestly thought you would say Astro Express. I think I still I'm leaning on the Stellaron Hunter. Obviously, it's my fucking theory, but I do think it is. Let's see where we're at here. All right, here's the question. I'm gonna leave it to you guys. Should I stick with Elation or do follow up? We're gonna need to make a decision soon. I'm not. I love Fugue, but I'm not doing that. I think Ava will get a body from Abundance using Shuhu's powers and join the Astro Express. Isolation. Nah, after 4.8 with revived, I think final. Why do you think the Foris will be revived again? I know you mentioned this before. Because I love Fei Xiao. That's true. I love Ashvale, but we would need to run all right, we'll run fuck it. We'll run follow up. Let's run follow up. Fuck it. Why not? Let's run follow up. I might regret this. It's fine. Oh, that was stupid. Why did I do that? Do that. We'll keep that. And we'll run Galaxy Rangers. Where's the Galaxy Ranger one? Galaxy Rangers plus strategy. It's one of my favorite ones. Save lineup. How many? Let's just check the votes. How come it's not? There we go. Stays on Planet Arcadia is winning. Y'all think that she's gonna stay on Planet Arcadia? That is the one that I didn't think was gonna happen at all. Wow, 6% of you said join the Stellaron Hunters. Wow. Okay. Project. Oh my god. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate your support, Jasmine. I appreciate your support. We're gonna run this. Oh shit, my bad. All right. Well, let me. What do you guys do? A final check on the theory. I think I'm actually might end stream soon. I'll tie because I also need to finish up another thing. How come I can't sign off with this? Whatever. Evanescia left Planet Arcadia, but she also stays on Planet Arcadia. Oh, she has her tree stay on Planet Arcadia, but she leaves. That would be interesting. When Planet Arcadia becomes stronger character who won't need to sleep as often. I don't think that the sleeping thing is affected from that, is it? Am I mistaken there? Suppress the remains of Ouroboros, but I think the idea is that the remains of Ouroboros problem will be solved by then. I think that's the idea, that it will be concluded by the time that the end of 4.8 somehow. There is a bit of a weird question where will we run into more planets where Aha decided to steal a branch of the abundance and drip feed it to the veracity. Still crazy. Absolutely crazy to me. Well, yeah. I'm excited for 4.4. I am ready emotionally, I think, at this point. We'll see what happens. I hope they do it. I hope they do it well. I hope they don't. There's one thing that Star Rail does kind of annoyingly sometimes is that in my opinion, they do this thing a lot where they will all right, cool. What's going on? Why am I not? Yes, apply strategy. Nope, that's not. No. I want to apply this strategy. Star Rail sometimes does this annoying thing where they will kind of make over drag on like the death of a character or something that's happening or something sad. They will really push on it. And I feel like some that like doesn't really help or work a lot. Like my best example of this is in Amphorius during Cypher's death scene. I'm sorry to say they dragged that. Drake dragged that so much. And so I really hope if they're going to do something harsh or something like sad, that they do it in a very concise, in a very like, in a way that isn't over explained, if that makes sense. I'm not sure how many of you believe me. We are all doomed. You will be sad now. Have fun. Sorry. I'm just thinking about it. I mean, I'm just saying. I feel like if they were gonna do it, I feel like it would just it just makes sense to do it that way. Anyways, I think I'm gonna end stream right there. This is our predictions for the 4.4 story. I will be here, so the 4.4 story reactions will come out on time. Usually around the weekend after the weekend the story comes out, so it should come out this coming Tuesday. I should have my reactions out between Thursday and Friday. I will be working on an Asat Pramad theory / explanation video. Should be out ideally next week or around the week after, give or take. But yeah. Looking forward to 4.4. Thank you all for coming around. Also, didn't mention this, but recently hit 20K subscribers. Thank you so much, all of you. I really do appreciate you guys coming on, watching, hanging out on stream, and chatting with me. So, yeah. But with all that being said,